All right, you're going to really want to listen to this, okay? Because we're never really done with fractions. They're going to be here all year, okay? So you have a couple of options here. You can attempt to get all of your variables on one side and get all of your coefficients on the other side, or all of your numeric values on the other side, and then you can attempt to get rid of your fractions later by like multiplying by reciprocals and doing your thing. Or you can just go ahead and get rid of them at the beginning. Okay? In order to go ahead and get rid of them at the beginning, you're going to want to multiply every term so like all of them, by the least common denominator. Well, just really the least common denominator. Okay, so you're going to want to multiply every term by the least common denominator. So if I had to have a number that was going to be my least common denominator between 2 and 3. So what is a number that both 2 and 3 can go into? 6, right? So 6 would be my least common denominator. Now, it doesn't have to be the least common denominator. It just makes your life easier if it is. Okay, I could pick 24, because 3 and 2 also will go into 24, right? I could pick 12, right? But it will make your life easier if you pick the least common denominator. So that's going to be 6. Everybody agree? So I have to multiply every term. How many terms do I have? 4. So that means this has to be multiplied by 6. This has to be multiplied by 6. This has to be multiplied by 6. And this has to be multiplied by 6. So every term gets multiplied by the least common denominator. Okay? Every single one of them. Now, this term is really a what? What am I multiplying 6 here by? X. Can I multiply 6 by X? Kind of, but am I going to get a number? No. This is really 1/2, right? That's a 1/2. Do we all agree?
So 3.
So can I do 6 times 1/2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. What's 6 times 1/2 going to give me? 3x. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Then what's 6 times -1 give me? -6. And that's going to equal, what's 2/3 times 6 give me?
4x.
You all have a calculator, use it.
4x.
4x. Okay. If you can't do it in your head, you get a calculator. And then what's 6 times -3? -18. Now that looks a lot less intimidating, doesn't it? Now we're like, okay, that makes more sense. It looks a lot less intimidating. All right, so now I have a 3x and a 4x. How many of you are moving the 4x so it goes to the left? And you don't even care that it's going to give you a -1. Okay, fair enough. Do it to it. You're fine with that. How many of you are like, dude, I'd rather be on the right side than have to deal with that negative? Okay, that's fine too. Does it matter?
No.
No, as long as you keep your signs okay. So I'll go with most of us and go -3x. How about that? So I'm going to get a -6 is equal to x minus 18. So here's what I'm solving for. So I got to get rid of my plus 18. And I got to get rid of my minus 18. So I'm going to add 18. What is -6 plus 18? Positive 12, and that's going to be equal to x. So x would be equal to 12. Now that wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it was going to be, was it?
No.
All right. Who can remember why we multiplied every term by 6? Who remembers why?
Least common denominator.
It's the least common denominator of 2 and 3. Okay? If they if these were both 2s, I could just multiply everything by what? 2. If they were both 3, I can multiply everything by
3.
3. If this were a 2 and a 5, I would multiply everything by what?
10.
10. Okay? You can always just multiply the denominators together to figure out what to multiply by. Okay? Everybody okay with that?